Hi, my name is Raul Subramanian. I am a sophomore at the University of South Carolina, and I am currently enrolled in the public speaking class. This is my informative speech, and my topic that I chose is electronic cigarettes and the effects they have. Here we go. Ever since humans could trace time, it was known that children, especially teenagers, tend to rebel and bend the rules a bit. With the modern changes made to the basic cigarette, teenagers have been rapidly getting on the wave of electronic cigarettes for the past couple of years. It is unknown if electronic cigarettes are really an improvement compared to cigarettes, although it is known with certainty electronic cigarettes do you no good. E-cigarettes are the new wave for modern kids, which take the nicotine content from the cigarette and adds multiple chemicals that are publicly unknown and condenses it into a pen or a little device of sort. Give me 1 second as I share my screen. I would like to show you these graphs. As you can see on the left, electronic cigarettes are used in many countries worldwide, some more than others. This picture on the left shows the amount of money spent on vape products in each country since 2018. You can clearly see USA has spent most money by about $4 million. Now, if you look at the graph on the right, you can see the majority of the vapors are amongst the younger population. With these two graphs correlating, you can conclude that a big population of young Americans vape. Now, with my next graph, just like we concluded before, this graph shows a difference between cigarettes usage and electronic cigarettes usage in the past 20 years among teenagers. It is evident that in the recent years, cigarettes have dropped and vaping markets have skyrocketed among the younger population. For some reason, the vaping industry primarily attracts teenagers over quitting smokers. There are many noticeable effects from electronic cigarettes, but there are also many effects that the majority of the users are unaware of. Probably the biggest effect electronic cigarettes have on smokers is the damage on the lungs. E-cigarettes contain juice or some sort of e-liquid which contain a mix of flavoring additives, nicotine, and many other chemicals that we are unsure of. It is proven that many vapors end up with bronchiolitis obliterans, also known as popcorn lungs, which bring many symptoms like shortness of breath, wheezing, and chest pain. Another major health effect given from electronic cigarettes is the effect on the brain that comes with vaping. Exposure to any kind of electronic cigarettes can impair the development of the human brain, especially as a teenager, because the brain is developing at its fastest while you are growing. It is also evident that since younger brains have so much more synapses, it is easier for the youth to get an addiction to nicotine than it is as an adult. Nicotine interferes with the blood-brain barrier function and, as a consequence, raises the risk of brain edema and neuroinflammation. So, as you can see in this pie chart, you can clearly see that there's really no good that comes from the usage of electronic cigarettes. You can clearly see that the biggest health effect that comes from the usage of electronic cigarettes is cardiovascular, which means it severely impacts your lungs. The second most frequent effect caused by electronic cigarettes is cancer. Whether it is lung cancer or brain cancer, cancer is a huge effect from vaping frequently, and many electronic cigarette users also suffer from pulmonary hypertension, which is a type of high blood pressure that affects the arteries in your lungs. So with this chart, it is clear that electronic cigarettes should be avoided and they're no good for you. And another effect that electronic cigarettes have on teenagers that does not directly impact all e-cigarette users, but does increase the potential of all users, is the likelihood of smoking cigarettes later in your life. Michael Blaha from Johns Hopkins University said, "I think perhaps the number one concern about vaping right now is the so-called gateway effect. Our own literature suggests that 2 million young adults use electronic cigarettes as their first nicotine-based product. Also, not only with cigarettes, but e-cigarettes do lead on to drugs later in life. The reason this is so bad is because when kids hop on the new wave of buying an electronic cigarette and using it, They don't feel the urge to quit. Instead, they think the next flavor is what they should try. This leads to the addiction maintaining for multiple years and eventually going too far to where it's nearly impossible to quit. Now, you probably asked the question, how can people get so addicted when they're taught as children that it's so bad for you? That's a great question. It is proven that nicotine is one of the most addictive substances we know, and when frequent smokers or vapors go days without it, their nicotine level will go down and cause them to have withdrawal effects. So you're still asking, what makes it so appealing to high school kids or teenagers? Well, the answer is kids just want to fit in. When a student goes to school in the morning and sees his close friends using an electronic cigarette of some sort, sadly, they feel compelled to get one of their own. It also does not help that the vape industry is very big at the moment, therefore having many different flavors, juices, and devices which appeal to the younger generation, which is not good at all. So, how big is the industry really? Just as we said that the vape industry is very big at the moment, this bar graph shows exactly where they stand in relation to all other sorts of stores in 2019 in the UK. It is clear that the industry is booming as it is ahead of sports and restaurants. With more and more stores opening and more ads popping up on TV, it makes it very difficult for teenagers to quit. Instead, it makes them would like to purchase more. So, in conclusion, electronic cigarettes really do you no good and cause so many effects on your health, so just avoid them. It is okay to not fit in everywhere in school, but as long as you are healthy, that is what's most important. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.